This is for JB. He asked how to run power into a field zone blitz, and I don't know. I'm going to give it a try. I'm not sure. I'm not sure really what he's talking about. An even front. Most times, that I when I coach college football anyway, that nose would be really closer to nose up, so he could get on this side of the ball. But if this guy can get into the A gap, I guess he can get into the opposite A gap and not worry about being shorthanded over here. So let's do it for a second here. Hang on a second. Okay, this is the guard pulling. Okay, and when the guard's pulling, the rules we say it's going to be one more gap. So the B gap is the centers. If we were running zone this way, that guard would have the B gap, center would have the A gap. But the center has got the B gap now. And the tackle, what we do, we call this pinch hinge. We got it from the late great George DeLeone, the terminology pinch hinge. What he's got to do is he's got to try and funnel that tackle, not let him penetrate, and funnel him to the center. Okay. All right. I'm going to pause this again for a second. In field zone blitz, this guy is copping. He's either going to be a cutter or a fold player. Depends on what they got going on over here. But he's copping, and the tackle pinches and winds up grabbing that tackle. When the center sees that, he goes from green light because his gap was, had a three technique in it. That's green light. He goes from green light to red light. Okay, and he gets square to air. And what he's looking for is, again, if he gets square to air, he's looking for any run through, maybe the cop looping. And if he's nice, if you start out on a proper course, a junction course, if he gets squared air, there's a good chance that he's going to grab that nose or at least shut him off a little bit. Okay. Hang on a second. I'm going to pause you again. Now, regardless of what it looks like, we tell this guard that he's going to get, he's get a guy that's going to scrape paint for him, and he's got the far A gap. So he's got to step deep enough, and that's a bad drawing. Hang on a second. He's got to step deep enough for the far A gap, and more than likely he'll wind up grabbing the nose. It should be a washout. It should be a murder shot. If if by some chance the center really is good and really is good at accelerating, and he rewinds and grabs the nose, then the guard, of course, will get square to air, and he's got a pretty good shot at that linebacker too. Um, anyway, let's move on. Okay, the guard, as far as he's concerned, even though he's stepping to the far A, he's got the nose. Okay, okay, with the nose, if he's even and he's not sure, the tackle's gonna skip. But with the nose in the A gap, okay, and all this noise going on, we'd like this tackle to stay square. And if he does skip, we want him to stay as square as he can. See if he can grab that end. If he grabs that end, it's pretty good. That's we're in good shape. He's going to tear that end. He's going to grab him and tear him. Okay. If he chips, he'll really get him. Okay. If he steps, steps this way, rolls his shoulder, he'll murder the guy. It should be a pretty gaping hole, but what we're talking about is who's going to get the rest of it. Okay, so hang on a second. All right, we tell the sniffer he's got the end. He's going to leave one for the quarterback. Okay, so if he's on a nice tight course for that end, he should be able to pop through and just stay on course. Because if and he's got to make sure the tackle grabs this guy. That's the number one thing. If the tackle gets him, he's going to stay nice and tight. And if he stays tight, if the tackle gets his, he'll get the tackles, and that's one of these two linebackers. Now, if I'm a really good coach, okay, I'll say to him, and this drawing is kind of half-assed. Let me see if I can get it a little bit better. I'm trying to make it clear, but okay, if the Mike really knows what he's doing, and this end is going to try and get into that A gap, the Mike becomes the B gap defender, and this puller's going to blow his ass up pretty good. The quarterback has got this guy, okay, um, and if he sticks his nose in there and the 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 sniffer gets up on the second level, we're in pretty good shape. If the quarterback hands the ball off, it's all about how much of a gape can we get to shut this dude off. And again, we got the we got the guard coming for this guy, and we can, like I said, we can coach this really good, or you know, I can't tell you that this happens every time because this guy right here. One thing I would say is he should train with these five at least part of the time, not all the time, but part of the time. Okay, just got to answer a phone call, but we would like him to get to him if possible. Okay, and we'd like to leave this guy here if possible. Okay, I don't know. I can't tell you how many times that guy got to him, but I do know this: that thing. If we get that defensive end, see, he's not even there anymore. If we get that end and that nose grabbed, it's a shot now. It's a shot. Okay, and the other thing, the thing that and I'm going to say, I want to cheat here for a second. I'm going to say this to you. Hang on. If they're smart, they won't. The Sam will play the quarterback, okay, and make them hand the ball off. And it's just what it comes down to is us three against their two. Okay, if the quarterback gets the ball pulled, we're going to have a slant game going here. I just drew a three-step slant. I see people doing all kinds of things, but just a three-step slant. So he opens it up, drives this guy. If this guy exits, he's going to just sit down and put pressure on that linebacker. Okay, that linebacker has got to get over here. And if they're smart, again, they'll make the ball get handed off, and then it's just a question of our three on there too. Um, I don't know if that's good or bad. Once again, I'd rather go this way, you know, but you asked for it, so there we go. Okay.